Hello! In this video of Budge Billionaire Behaviours, Kylie Jenner. Luck, nepotism or astute business mind? Just how did Kylie become the world's youngest self-made billionaire? What can you learn and apply from her 6 key success factors? And will Paul's face be covered by our next video clickbait at the end? Join us to find out.
Kylie Jenner and Richard Branson are very similar in their use of brand. Although she has gone with Kylie everything, hasn't she? To the point where, Kylie Minogue had to fight her copyright for the use of the word Kylie.
I can't see that she's remotely self-made.
She's seen what the future looks like. She's seen the opportunity of Instagram and social media more so and faster than probably many other people. And she's used her authenticity to sell products.
He said what we need in terms of marketing is what I call tell a woman. And it's got to be one woman telling another one how good this product is and the authenticity from person to person.
The Kardashians actually work incredibly hard and incredibly long hours. No one's really interested in brands online. People are interested in people, and she's really captured that and then turned herself into
that. What do you mean, not interested in brands?
Well, if you look...
Oi, Budge!
This is Budge Billionaire's Budge series on the most successful humans, why they thrive. We're covering people such as Bill Gates and Steve Jobs. But today, potentially the youngest billionaire of all time, controversially, Kylie Jenner. What made you choose Kylie Jenner for this series?
Her lips.
Which actually was a viral challenge.
Sorry, what do you know about the viral?
We'll talk about that later on in the podcast.
It is very relevant, yes, you're quite right. Kylie Jenner, yes, Forbes announced her as the youngest billionaire of all time. I think it was 2019, was it? They announced that. But but whether she's an actual billionaire or not, there's some interesting success factors and different ones to the Bransons and the Jobs and the Gates.
It's funny, actually, because we've done a few people in this series. Like we talk about Richard Branson was one of them. I think Kylie Jenner and Richard Branson are very similar in their use of brand. They're both quite brilliant at this use of brand and attributing it to certain products, that sort of thing. Rather than actually creating something, they've used their brand to sell things.
Their brand of themselves. Because you'd say if she was jumping on a brand bandwagon, she'd change her surname.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Yeah. Although she has gone with Kylie everything, though, hasn't she? To the point where, Kylie Minogue had to fight her copyright for the use of the word Kylie.
Yeah.
Self-made is an interesting word, of course, on Kylie Jenner. Paris Hilton has described her and Kylie Jenner as self-made. What are your thoughts, both of you? Kylie Jenner, self-made?
Yeah, expert on Kylie Jenner, Tom Matthews.
On Kylie Jenner, but I can't see that she's remotely self-made. She grew up in a
So you're sitting on the fence.
What's your view, Darren?
I think there are elements to her that are different to her one full sibling and 8 half siblings that actually... a lot of the others haven't made this money. So there is something different about her. And actually, that's what's been attractive about her. Apparently, she's been a lot quieter. She's younger, the youngest. And so she was able to ride this new concept, Instagram and social media. So do you know how many followers she's got right now?
It's huge. It's
12, and similar to us, 394 million, so more than a third of a billion at the last count, just on Instagram. But she used that to be personable and real, as much as individuals from.
Although she does also using maybe 500 photos before she gets the photo that she posts. She's actually said this,
Goodness. But she said that, did she?
Yeah, which again is part of her being real. I actually have got a lot of respect for her because it'd be very hard to differentiate yourself in a family like that.
Yeah.
And also differentiate yourself in such a way where you don't get a lot of, scandal around Kylie Jenner. It's very much, she's regarded as almost like the business person of the family, the one that's really utilized what is around her, whether we think she's self-made or not. She's utilized that to create her own brand, differentiate herself from the Kardashians, and it's been incredibly successful at that. And in many ways, in similarities to the other people that we talk about, is she's seen what the future looks like. She's seen the opportunity of Instagram and social media more so and faster than probably many other people. and she's used her authenticity to sell products.
Authenticity is a word I came up with earlier to describe someone else. But
so she does have a certain amount of, again, visionary, seeing the future as to what's needed.
Actually, that's massive.
I was going to ask a question to you, though, Paul. So you asked the same question with some of the other billionaires that we've spoken about. Is it down to luck, or is it down to drive?
Oh, look, there's a timing part to all these things, isn't there? We've talked about the timing of Bill Gates and Steve Jobs in the 1970s. They're born in the sort of 50s, 60s, and then the creation of the home computer, that sort of thing, in the 70s and 80s. Certainly, Kylie Jenner is a person of her time. In the last sort of 10, 15 years, with social media taking over the world, she was a young person at the right time to capture that. But I think that's true of so many billionaires. There's so many successful people. And it's really hard to know whether or not in a different era, whether or not they would have seen a different opportunity. So I probably will be sitting on the fence on that one.
It's a good point, because there's something that she's done which Estee Lauder, she's kind of emulated her in cosmetics. But in 1946, Estee Lauder really launched. And she said, what we need in terms of marketing is what I call tell a woman. And it's got to be one woman telling another one how good this product is, and the authenticity from person to person. Now you can post something on Instagram, how to do your lips, so you look like you got my sister's ones that have been injected, but without having to inject it, and you're not that rich. Well, not my sister. Oh. I am right now.
I live on the Gold Coast, so I don't ever see people with fake lips.
Only the men.
Yeah.
Yes, but and it is this authenticity and her saying this is how you do it. This is how you do makeup. This is how you get the same look, and that was her initial product. And most successful. And it's the same thing to tell a woman, except for you're telling 300 million people at once, so it's a lot quicker.
This thing about the question, Tom, about her being a person of her time, the similarity again to Branson, right? He created this magazine in the late 60s, early 70s, and he gave away like 50,000 copies. And he created this thing which he could sell himself. Does that make sense? And so what you do, he did that in many ways, what she's doing now in a modern environment, sort of 50 years, 40 years later. So potentially these people, when, would they do it in different times? Maybe they just find different ways of doing these things.
But would she have been able to achieve what she's achieved without the platform that her family created?
Oh, potentially not, but certainly the TV show. Yeah.
Yeah, nobody knew. Yeah, that platform is undeniably, this is the springboard, otherwise just be another kid showing how to do makeup on your face.
But that said, we are also going to be covering Mr. Beast, who came from nothing and effectively had a similar sort of success.
Yeah, but there's a different graft element, I think, to Mr. Beast than what she had. So she had a whole network around her of business people straight away. And she was kind of a brand beforehand, and that different one and the younger one and a different audience to appeal to through Instagram.
Let's talk about that graph point then, because we always joke about the fact that you have a story. Our most viral moment on Budge has been you talking about your lovely wife. No, what was it? My lovely
beautiful wife.
Your beautiful wife, our viral moment when she worked for the Kardashians. And the point of that was missed on a lot of people that were listening to you. As we missed the point of most of what you're saying, to be honest. The Kardashians actually work incredibly hard and incredibly long hours. So there is a graft element, I suspect, to Kylie that would have been surrounded with her most of her life.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, as I said, in that bloody 800,000 watch TikTok.
Soon to be 1 million after this.
Is
when Kylie reshares it.
Her direct experience was they were up at 5 a.m. in dressing gowns, surrounded by merchandisers, marketers, lawyers, and what have you. And in Laura's case, the dress manufacturers.
That's not missing Kardashian.
Sorry, nicely explained. And they just got in really late the night before from openings and being seen and having their pictures taken, and on 4 hours kip, 5 hours sleep, and just working hard. So there is elements beyond that. And actually, a fact I didn't realise, you remember Paris Hilton was perhaps the first.
What was that TV show? Simple Life.
The Simple Life to blow up. Do you know who the stylist and administrator was on that? Personal assistant to Paris Hilton.
Was it Kim Kardashian?
It was Kim Kardashian.
Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, of course.
Now, Paris Hilton blew up and got famous, got that series and what have you after a tape, a revealing tape or video, and then what happened to Kim Kardashian? You know,
Yeah.
And there's always been the rumours who released that.
To get more viewership on this podcast, we just need to release a tape.
Release your
Don't
tape.
look that deeply into my eyes when you say that. But yes.
Okay, no one else is tape.
Tape. It's just anyway. But it is interesting. But what that is as well is in the Kim Kardashian is you take a business model that's just worked in the modern world where you can communicate and share information and videos and what have you, and you emulate it completely. Yeah. And I cannot think really of any business that's successful around us, any brand like Coca-Cola even, that hasn't copied what somebody else has done but done it better.
Mm. Oh, look at we've done Steve Jobs on here. I mean, they didn't invent the tablet, did they? Apple. He just knew how to market it far better than anyone else.
It was Johnson and Johnson.
I knew that was coming. Yeah. But also, I think where Kylie's done very well, of course, is that people are not interested, with the exception probably of Red Bull. No one's really interested in brands online. People are interested in people, and she's really captured that and then turned herself into that brand.
What do you mean, not interested in brands?
Well, if you look at all the biggest followings online, they're of individuals. Your Ronaldo, your Indian cricket players, Kylie, Taylor Swift. They're not of brands.
Prime.
People are potentially Prime.
But that's because
Prime
it's led by two personalities.
Absolutely. KSI, Logan Paul, people want to follow them. And so Kylie has become the brand. Logan Paul's become the brand. KSI has. So that's what interests people. They think they're buying into that individual.
Yeah, it's a base human thing. It's called social media because we're social animals. And it's an individual to look at, to emulate, to laugh at. But that's all we do as a species, you know, it really is look at others. And that's why it's so captivating. But younger people had someone to turn to, and that authenticity is a really good word that I wish now I'd used as the single word to describe her.
You didn't, though. You used a different word, mate. And as part of your upcoming book, which is going to follow your upcoming...
Which I'm now going to have to bloody write, I suppose. It's called The Sex Tape.
What word did you come up with for Kylie in terms of who she is in behaviour? Influence. Oh, yes. How original.
Yeah. But it really is about using that influence massively. Look, if you've got nearly 400 million followers and you have 1 in a million people buy something, you know, you've sold 400 things already.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's going to be 1 in 100, 1%. If you can convert somebody, then you cannot fail to be successful almost when you've got that sort of dedicated following.
But will she always be tainted by does the Kardashian name now work for her or against her?
I'd say, because Tom knows this.
You go on?
Well, for her, because some of her most successful product launches, because the other Kardashians had cosmetic brands before her. Yeah. They did well, but nowhere near as well as hers. I think she set it up with one group, and then she sold it. And this is where the $1 billion valuation. She sold more or less half, give or take 1%, to Coty, I think it was, and she sold that proportion for $600 million.
Wow!
So double that. You're talking about 1.2 billion. So that's why she's a billionaire, and that was just before COVID, I think that happened.
Yeah.
But some of her biggest selling launches were in partnership with Kim, of course, and Courtney-led products. So she's actually kind of supporting them. And of course, running throughout all of this and all Kardashian Ventures is their mum, who's CFO, I think, of Kylie Jenner's business with 10%. She gets 10% management fee.
She's probably the richest of all of them, isn't she?
Probably, you'd think so.
Which is interesting, of course, because, you know, for all that we sort of say that she's part of this family and all the rest of it, she's come from being the youngest, many years behind where the rest of them were, and now she is the wealthiest and probably the most successful of all of them at the youngest age. And that you have to give credit for that.
Yeah. And apparently she has involvement, and she probably got that work ethic. I didn't realise that the original Kardashian papa of the family was only best friends with O.J. Simpson.
Well, he's his lawyer, I think, wasn't he?
Yeah, but he was best friends. I think that's right.
Yeah, he'd got off of he hadn't renewed his legal thing. He had to renew it so O.J. Simpson could talk to him and he wouldn't have to reveal what had been said.
Legal
Anyway,
privilege.
Interesting.
You should look into that.
Privilege?
Legal privilege.
But yeah, so I think Kylie Jenner's a fascinating case study because it's going to be emulated.
Yeah.
It's going to be so much more of this going forward. Or has the ground been claimed already by the famous influencers? And for anyone else to move in on that, it's going to be really difficult.
I mean, there will always be new influences, but I think it's just a very dense market now where people are literally trying to understand the algorithms and trying to sort of promote themselves. It's going to be so much harder, say, to be a Mr. Beast that comes from nowhere than it will be to be somebody that's related to, someone else or already known, I guess.
Yeah, actually, you're right. Yeah. She could move into a busy marketplace because of the platform she had, like you said.
Yeah. Or a platform comes along like TikTok, in COVID, a new platform comes along, and that's where you see the new creators become famous again, like that sort of generation of 2020.
Yeah, I think it's going to, dominate business more and more, and FMCG products and what have you. As people go into this, it's just weird, this cult of personality. But in this case, the good thing is she's not a loud, outspoken person. She's not had a sex tape.
There isn't necessarily a massive cult of personality with her, is it?
Yes.
There isn't this massive cult of personality with her, though, is there? It's not like it doesn't feel like the public knows her that well, if that makes sense.
Unless you're in her demographic.
Yeah.
Which one would imagine moves up in age.
Which is certainly not us lot.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Darren. We look forward to the book when it comes out, of course. This is Budge Billionaires as part of a series. Make sure you check us out on YouTube and elsewhere.
And watch this video next.